The de Havilland D.H.2. At various times before the war began in 1914, several men had foreseen the potentialities of aircraft armed with machine guns. In June 1914, Geoffrey de Havilland joined the Aircraft Manufacturing Company Limited from the Royal Aircraft Factory, bringing with him his knowledge of the designs of the gun-carrying FE-2A and the FE-6, and the early experiments with the FE-3. For want of a British machine gun interrupter gear, he adopted a pusher layout for the Airco DH-1, which was designed in the autumn of 1914 as a reconnaissance aircraft. Similarly, the first de Havilland-designed Airco single-seat fighting scout, the DH-2, was a pusher. It was designed early in 1915. The DH-2 was a compact little two-bay biplane of conventional construction, powered by a 100-horsepower Gnome monosoupape engine and armed with a single Lewis machine gun. On the prototype, number 4732, the gun was carried on a pivoted bracket mounting on the port side of the cockpit. In this aircraft, all the petrol was contained in the main tank within the nacelle. The prototype was sent to France on the 26th of July, 1915, shortly after completing its test flights, and was on strength of No. 5 Squadron on 31st July 1915, when the next official return of airplanes on charge was rendered on the 15th of August. No. 4732 was not included. It had, in fact, been reported missing on the 9th of August, 1915, and the Germans later reported that its pilot, Captain R. Maxwell Pike, had died of wounds. The DH-2 was substantially intact, and few of its secrets could have escaped the Germans. Despite this inauspicious start to its career, the first production machines were delivered towards the end of 1915, and were allocated to No. 24 Squadron, RFC, which was then working up before proceeding to France. On these aircraft, the Lewis gun was installed as a completely free weapon. It was on a central pivoting mounting that could be elevated and depressed. The nose of the nacelle was modified, and the pilot's windscreen was attached to the gun. Ammunition drums were carried in external racks on each side of the cockpit. A revised fuel system was fitted. It incorporated a gravity tank, which was carried either under or on top of the port upper main plane. The Gnome monosoupape remained the standard engine, but at least one DH-2 was fitted with the 110-horsepower L'Aron. This aircraft was tested at the Central Flying School, but its performance was inferior to the standard aircraft. Its speed at 5,000 feet was 85 miles per hour, and it took 31 minutes to climb to 10,000 feet. One aircraft, number 8725, was ordered by the Admiralty, but the type was not adopted for the Royal Naval Air Service, and this DH-2 was transferred to the RFC. In service, the DH-2 was not at first popular. Its small speed range and sensitive controls demanded careful handling. Consequently, spinning accidents occurred, many with fatal results. Once its handling characteristics were understood, however, the DH-2 came to be recognized as a sturdy and maneuverable fighting scout. When No. 24 Squadron went to France on 7th February 1916, equipped throughout with DH-2s, it became the first single-seat fighter squadron to go to war. It was commanded by Major L.G. Hawker, V.C. The DH-2 was also flown by Royal Flying Corps Squadrons No. 29 and 32, which went to France on the 25th of May and the 28th of May, 1916. Of the total of 400 production DH-2s, 266 were sent to France. Although the DH-2 was not fast, its strength and maneuverability made it a formidable fighter in its day, and it played a large part in defeating the Fokker monoplane. It was found that the Lewis gun's flexibility was a disadvantage rather than an asset. The gun was ultimately fixed to fire forward along the line of flight, and the pilots mastered the technique of aiming their aircraft at the target. In the hands of such pilots as Captain A.M. Williamson, DSO, and Captain J.O. Andrews, DSO, MC. The DH-2 scored many combat successes. On the 1st of July, 1916, Major L.W.B. Reese, OC, No. 32 Squadron, flying the DH-2 No. 6015, won the VC for his combat with 10 enemy bombers. In No. 29 Squadron, Sergeant J.T.B. McCudden, whose final victory score was to reach 57, began his career as a fighter pilot flying No. 5985. With the appearance of the German Albatross and Halberstadt tractor biplanes, the DH-2 was outclassed. This seemed to be symbolized in the death of Major L.G. Hawker when, flying No. 5964, he was shot down and killed by Manfred von Richthofen in an Albatross D-2 on the 23rd November 1916. Yet it was not finally withdrawn until June 1917, when numbers 24 and 32 squadrons completed their re-equipment with DH-5s. A few DH-2s remained operational in Palestine and Macedonia until the late autumn of that year, and one is reported to have been sent to France in 1918. Its operational day was by then long past. Some lingered on at training units, to which a total of 100 DH-2s were sent, and at the Royal Aircraft Factory, A-2569 was still flying in March 1918, when it was experimentally fitted with Tampier controls.